You think I'm productive? I mean, yeah, I am sort of. Don't question it that hard. Don't laugh, Lord. There's a productivity hack that I've been using the past few years that has allowed me to make as much content as I have. And this can really apply to any work that you're doing, so don't disregard this as just a content making strategy. If you have ever heard of Parkinson's law, it is essentially the principle that things take the amount of time you give them to complete. So they expand or contract based on the timeline associated to it. So I create a lot of arbitrary timelines in my work. And a simple hack that I've been using for the past few months in order to get ahead on my schedule is to, this sounds really weird, I don't know what to call it, inverse procrastinate, or instead of procrastinating on things that are actually not things that I need to be doing, I will get ahead on my content calendar in the weirdest, most arbitrary way possible by utilizing Parkinson's law and the very basic productivity principle that doing things you like are easier than if you do things you don't like. So what I'll do on my content calendars you'll see here is I actually have a video coming up that I need to do. That's a sponsored video in the next few days. And while I have worked on it a bit, it's not done. But I do need to get it done based on timelines that I've agreed with other people, as well as like the arbitrary timeline I have set. So what I do is I record a bunch of other videos that I would prefer to record just based on how I'm feeling about it, like this one that's due on December 31st, before I get to this one, because I know I will get back to that one in time. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm procrastinating on the video that's the most urgent with tasks that I would prefer doing that are still very important, because these videos still need to go up to maintain the content calendar. But I just go in the order of preference and then leave one video that's due at the end of the week and tell myself I cannot get to that until I fill out, let's say, 30 videos ahead before I can get to that one. This is so arbitrary. But if you manage to convince your mind of these sort of things, this is how you can get to the point where you're 30 videos ahead on something. You just literally have to be like, all right, I will record the one that's due on Saturday, but I have to get 4 weeks ahead. So say you make 2 videos a week and you're a content creator. You have to get 4 weeks ahead. Say you are somebody who creates products at a company and they have to create a certain amount of widgets or something, and you need to have this specific finished project done by the end of the week, but you're able to make up a bunch of the different components and do that earlier. If you know that for a fact you are leaving yourself enough time to go back and make the original product, do a bunch of the setup time for the rest of it beforehand. And if your question on it's like, well, I'm working to get that done. However, me doing all this work now will get me ahead of the game for the rest of that project cycle. Because generally speaking, similar to what you do with homework assignments, you're gonna probably procrastinate on things like specific projects in your day job. So just like with a paper, if you manage to get a bunch of homework assignments done, but you still set an artificial deadline of on Wednesday, for example, I will finish that grid video, or on Wednesday, I will finish the paper that's due Saturday. But before I do that, I have to complete a huge number of homework tasks or a huge number of side projects at my company. Then that forces you to have later deadlines be condensed, and then you don't have Parkinson's law constantly working against you. In fact, you're leveraging it inversely by forcing yourself to get a bunch of work done that you would have had to do otherwise earlier, because just like with a paper, if I put the deadline as Saturday, I would get it done on Saturday. If I had to release a video on Saturday without this whole I have to be ahead of the game scenario in my mind, then I would always be finishing videos right before. But instead of having it be a lot of stuff, I'm only having to complete like this one video right before it. And then in that sense, I'm always way ahead outside of needing to maybe have one video I need to catch up on. This has been a huge game changer for me. I have been able to make daily content across multiple channels for nearly a year now, and this is the main trick. And this is the main trick of how I got my GPA up from like a 3.2 to a 4.0 in college, because I got way ahead on a bunch of homework that I would have done the same effort on. And then say by Wednesday, I finished the paper, I'd have a couple more days to check as to whether the paper was done correctly by Saturday. Using the sponsored video as an example of like a really important project, and then using all these small, less important videos as an example for homework. If you like this tip and trick, please make sure to subscribe and check out this video on how to improve your productivity even more.